Good afternoon, welcome to Weekend Central. We come to you live from our studios here at Desawe Kanda in Accra and all our social media platforms on DSTV. We're also live on channel 279. My name is Judith Brown. I'm doing this with...
My name is Godwin Asiba. Let's take a look at the headlines. And coming up, minority in Parliament rejects Speaker's suspension of 3 of its members said to have scuttled the appointment committee vetting.
Also this afternoon, Labour serves notice of demanding an increase in salary for all public sector workers. We'll tell you more.
A while later, poaching a major concern for managers of the Mole National Park. We have details on this shortly. Details of these and more stories coming your way in the next hour if you stay with us. My name is Godwin Asiba. Welcome to the program. The minority in Parliament has rejected the Speaker's suspension of 3 of its members, describing the sanctions as harsh, unfair, and one not supported by law. Speaker of Parliament announced the suspension a day after chaos halted Parliament's vetting of ministerial nominees over disagreement on whether the process should continue or be adjourned.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, in reading his statement on the floor, noted with grave concern the manner in which the reputation of Parliament is rapidly being tarnished by the actions of some members of Parliament. He says the circumstances surrounding the chaos that erupted during the vetting on Thursday night are deeply troubling and regrettable. As a result, a 7-member committee chaired by Ho West MP Manuel Bejra has been formed to conduct a full-scale parliamentary probe into the issue and submit their report or findings within 10 days, effective Friday, January 31st.
A 7-member special committee shall be constituted under Orders 5 and 20, Rule 4, to conduct a full-scale investigation into the events of yesterday and this morning. Any member found culpable shall face the appropriate disciplinary actions as prescribed by the Constitution 1992, the Parliament Act of 1965, and the Standing Orders of Parliament. Members found responsible shall be surcharged for the full cost of repairs and replacement.
The Speaker has also directed the clerk to formally file a complaint with the Ghana Police Service to begin a full criminal investigation into this matter.
In pursuance of the provisions of the Constitution 1992 and the Standing Orders of Parliament, I further direct the clerk to Parliament to formally lodge a complaint with the Ghana Police Service to conduct a full criminal investigation into the matter for appropriate action.
Consequently, the Speaker of Parliament has suspended 4 members of Parliament, including Roxy Nelson Dafia-Mekpo, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, as well as Frank Anodompre and Alhassan Tampuli, with immediate effect beginning Friday, 31st January 2025.
The following members are suspended from the sittings of Parliament for 2 weeks from today, in the persons of Mr. Roxy Nelson Eche, Kwame Dzokoto, and Mr. Frank Anodompre, Mr. Alhassan Suleimana Tampuli, and 4, Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shaib.
The Committee on Selection has been tasked to immediately meet and reconstitute the appointment committee to cater for the gaps left by the various suspensions. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Parliament House, Accra.
Well, private legal practitioner Martin Pebo has meanwhile urged the suspended MPs to seek legal redress as he doubts the Speaker has the power to impose such sanctions.
I'm saying we are all learning. I cannot profess to know all the answers. Where the Constitution wants to give express powers of suspension, it does so. You know, in the Article 146 proceedings, well, like a judge, a justice of a superior court, if a petition is made against that person, right? Yes, and the proceedings, the president can suspend. So that one, you find that it's been expressly provided. But, you know, this speaker's own is something that's difficult to, you know, justify. Because in law, we have this common principle that where the lawmaker wants something done, the lawmaker would ask for it expressly. So judges are reluctant to write into a law things that are not there. No, judges are reluctant to do so. So in the same vein, it's difficult to see how that is done. So let's look at Article 146, Clause 10. It says that where a petition has been referred to a committee under this article, that's talking about removal of judges, the president may, in the case of the Chief Justice, acting in accordance with the advice of the Council of State by warrant signed by him, suspend the Chief Justice. You say it? Then B, in the case of any other justice of a superior court or of a chairman of a regional tribunal, acting with the advice of the Judicial Council, suspend that justice or chairman of a regional tribunal. You say, then it also says, the president may at any time revoke a suspension under this article. So that's Article 146, Clauses 10 and 11 I've read. So where the Constitution wants to give power expressly, it does so.
Right.
You say, so suspension is quite drastic.
So you say that this for Nelson Rox, Frank Anodompre, Hassan Tampoli, and Jerry Ahmed can sue the speaker. Oh, they should do. And not just that, I strongly urge that they do, so that we will know where the lines can be drawn. It's a democracy. Let's be careful. Hey, because if we don't find it in there expressly, and the speaker is taking such a decision, we should ask the judges. Let's do so. It's a democracy. Don't play with it. You see, the fact that I know there's anger in the system, blah, 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 one quick justice, doesn't also mean that we should make up laws by ourselves.
Well, the minority caucus has not been silent on this. They have been speaking, and I quote, "We categorically reject the suspension of these 3 MPs and demand an immediate reversal of this politically charged decision. If this unjustifiable action is not addressed, it will set a precedent where the speaker becomes and checks authority, weaponizing disciplinary measures against those who do not align with his preferred politically narratives." And that is what the minority caucus has been saying regarding what the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Subana Babing, has been saying. And it continues to read, well, that's where it ends. But let's get on the streets, and a cross-section of Ghanaians have been reacting to the events that transpired at the parliamentary vetting. Let's take a look.
Chaos broke out in Parliament during the vetting process in the early hours of 10 p.m. last night, with tables and chairs being overturned amid heated arguments amongst MPs on the whole issue of whether or not vetting should proceed regarding the Minister-designate for Foreign Affairs, Okudzeto Ablakwa, and that of the Health Minister-designate, Kwabena Minta Akando. Just this morning, some disruptions have occurred. Basically, this is the question that is going through the ordinary Ghanaian, that the vetting hasn't ended yet. Deputy ministers are even yet to be appointed for another round of vetting to happen, and this has already started. What do you make of it? What are the reactions of the ordinary Ghanaian on this?
Yesterday, I watched from the beginning to the end. But what happened yesterday night, it was an eyesore. For me, either the chairman of the vetting committee should be changed. And NDC people, they have fought hard. People have voted for them. They shouldn't lose guard. They shouldn't give themselves to opinion marking to be controlling them. Aponyumakin, he's a micro minority leader. He doesn't like that. He don't want to be called that, but that is what they are. They are micro minority. And NDC, the better they sit up, better for them. If not, 4 years is just around the corner. We will show them the exit.
Say I can do for mudi anymore. Yes, almost say omunya. Secondly, be as that time no person yes Obi how when Parliament. I think every year more than 60, more than 70. Obi how the draw so. That time maybe I saw Federal saw that. I was say enka pon no be akofia de che oma beto aso.
Nyankopon ma obi abotel e wo Parliament wo. Omo na omo lead ye. Ena nkwala no youth na eba no uhwa youth na wankasa uhwa youth na eba no youth no nyina sei enti ye pepanifo ne cho sei omo manyame ntra omo mu na bibi omo beye no omo ye na asondwe maye.
Whatever they would do over there is also send an image to another country or to somewhere else. So because we are learning from them, they should teach us something for us to follow. Even if there is some misunderstanding, they should know how to resolve this because they've been there for a very long time, so they know how to do this.
How many days in the vet? It is I vet will be for 3 hours. But that's a for someone Bramukoda, by force. By force, set Chichina, Chian vetting, Okuda talk, where and talk. It is only be a man so a brown woman free time. It's added here. And this Ghana and your Mudio. Ghana and this for dear. So one can say the one we never boy more man across there because you're a person man kui. Now, mood delay we say that's a never is because I'm the Mojman Bayano. A bit delayed there and fan for some and to say, don't we and so no money as a man.
I feel as though things have not been in place up to now, and it looks as though those that are interviewing or vetting ministers that are yet to come into power are not so sure about what they want to ask. Everybody, there's something hanging in there. We need to figure it out exactly. And I have to say, all we want is the betterment of our country, you understand? No matter who comes, no matter who is in power whatsoever, we just have to figure it out.
Almost say Ghana Niama, na Ghana Sikana Dibaya, yes, sorry, yes, I buy, yeah, Nessa buy for no, and your beer Nessamu. Penny for no more say Ghana Niama, Mutu Niama, Namuku, a babia, so a buboba, a buboba, Musa being Yamatunu, Musa Fenamuku.
Those were some reactions from market women as well as other persons in town. But let's do some more stories. And organized labor says it will demand a salary increase for 2025 despite claims by the Minister for Labor, Jobs and Employment, Dr. Rashid Pelpo, that the government may or may not consider increasing salaries for workers. The leadership of organized labor says that the 25% salary increment for public sector workers in 2024 has been eroded by inflationary and macroeconomic trends. A report from our Labor Affairs correspondent, Daniel Opoko.
The Minister of Labor, Jobs and Employment took his turn at the vetting committee on January 30, 2025. Some committee members sought to find out from the sector minister about government 24-hour economy. Others also posed questions about job creation for the teeming unemployed youth. But of utmost interest to some committee members were issues about salary increment for this year. But the sector minister, Dr. Rashid Pelpo, responded that government may consider increment after meeting with organized labor and other key stakeholders. But his response has generated some mixed feelings among the leadership of organized labor. The Secretary General of TUC, Joshua Ansam, and the General Secretaries of NAT and TEU insisted that government must announce an increment this year.
So we are ready, waiting for the minister to be vetted. And today, thank God, he has been vetted. And the moment the president swear him into office, I think that you commence negotiations in earnest. And I think there's no way that you will say that there will be no increase to Ghanaian workers.
The increasing of the salaries is to help workers to meet their basic needs. We are not even talking about living wage. We are talking about help workers to meet their basic necessities of life. And so salaries will have to go up. Take note, the CD, the depreciation of the CD and all that. Okay? We should be careful not to be pushing workers under the poverty line. No.
The Secretary General mentioned that we are even trying to move outside the minimum wage to a living wage. Because now the minimum wage is about, that's $1 less than 50 cents. And you expect a worker, the wife, and at least 4 children to live on that? So there's no way we will not expect anything. We are very expectant.
In a related development, the Sector Minister, Dr. Rashid Purple, before the committee, assured of implementing a pension unification. Under the pension unification, security agencies are expected to contribute towards their pension but have failed. Figures from the Finance Ministry indicate that government spends over 300 million cedis to pay benefits of staff of these agencies who do not contribute towards pension. Labour has indicated that the Sector Minister, Dr. Rashid Purple, should be firm to implement the pension unification.
If the political will is there, he will get the support of those who are not part of those who are earning more than those who contribute to. And I must be frank with you that this thing is draining the coffers of the Senate itself and also the government. Because if you don't contribute to a scheme and you are paid, where are they getting that money from? So I think that no contribution, no job should be one of the key things that we all have to look at.
The way they are handling our pension monies, when it comes and all that, and the way they go about compensating workers, even if God gives you 80 years, the moment you hit 60, you beg God and God, please, if you can add that one to somebody, let me go back home. Because life after pension, go and ask the pensioners. Go and ask them. If not so, why should pensioners come out and come and demonstrate?
His Excellency is coming to reset Ghana, and he has talked about even abolishing Article 71 office holders, ex gratia. And so even the security sector, they also do peacekeeping. A percentage of that peacekeeping should be saved towards they enjoying their pension with it.
Meanwhile, the General Secretary of NAT, Thomas Musa Tanko, has called on government to pay the arrears of the second-tier pension scheme owed workers.
As I am speaking to you now, the 3% penalty within the year I'm talking from August 2023 to August 2024 is about approximately 30 million Ghana cedis. Government has not paid. From July last year up to now, government is owing us 6 months. It's in arrears.
Government is being urged to allow further engagement on any possible increase in insurance premiums. This comes in the wake of an announcement of a suspension of the advertised 10% hike.
The 10% increase was not received with excitement by some commercial drivers who expressed concerns about its impact on their operations.
So if these increments come, it will help us for we to get something to go out. Our opinion is they should just reduce it. To be frank, we are not happy with it.
A January 29 statement issued by the National Insurance Commission announced a temporary suspension of the policy due to unforeseen events. Insurance expert and MP for Buakwa South constituency, Dr. Kingsley Ajiman, who opposed the tariff hike, has welcomed the NIC's decision to reconsider the earlier measure.
I say that I didn't know with the minority, there was going to be 10% increase in the compulsory motor insurance tariff. So it means that the public should continue to have confidence in the minority. And I called for a broader stakeholder engagement. So I had a lot of calls and discussions from the industry. The government, through the regulated agency, the National Insurance Commission, cited a letter today or a directive saying that there's been a suspension. I want to believe that naturally they have yielded to the concern that I stood for and on behalf of the minority for the people of Ghana. So it will come out very clearly, and as we were discussing, to come and consult broadly.
Further engagements are expected to take place on this matter.
You're so tuned in to Weekend Central Live here on TV3, also on DSTV channel 279. Remember, we are also streaming on Facebook at TV3 Ghana, where you can join us with your thoughts and comments. My name is Godwin Asidiba. We're going for a quick break. We will be back shortly. Make sure you stay with us.
This year, I'm taking charge of my wellness. I'm inviting you to do same. Make a date with me Saturday, the 1st of February 2025 for the 3FM Fit Start Walk. It's happening 5:30 a.m. prompt at the Aviation Social Center. Fitness enthusiasts, corporate executives, amongst others, will be there. Like-minded individuals. There'll be lots of fun activities, including aerobics, Zumba, live DJ performances, free health screenings, games, plus more. This is your chance to get started. Remember, 3FM Fit Start. Your health, your journey, your victory.
This is Hot Issues, your passport to the most compelling conversations of our time. We go one-on-one with the movers and shakers, the thought leaders, and the game changers. We ask the questions that matter, and we don't back down.
Tonight on Hot Issues, I sit with the man at the Center of Corruption Investigations.
Join me on Hot Issues here on TV3.
Hot Issues shows Sundays at 2 p.m. on TV3. TV3, first in news.
We're still here to bring you uplifting stories. And this week on Today's Woman, Sasha Sinon Beth Beauty out of a very tragic experience she had early on in her life.
The ophthalmologist diagnosed me with keratitis.
Who wanted you to go blind?
So basically my corneas were scratched, both of them in the eye. And by the time I realized my eyes were on fire, my eyes were burning.
You're joking.
Burning.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
That terrible.
It was that terrible.
Make a date with us this Saturday, 3 p.m. right here on TV3 with me, Cookie. It is Today's Woman.
Today's Woman with Cookie T shows Saturdays at 3 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by Vlisco. Cousins Baby.
The winner of Talented Kids Season 15.
The wait is finally over. Talented Kids Season 16 is back and it is set to be the most thrilling season. Prepare to be amazed by the mesmerizing performances that will captivate audiences of all ages. We are calling on all institutions, parents, and individuals who believe in the extraordinary talent of children aged 6 to 12. Our audition trains will make its first stop in Kumasi on the 6th of February at the McLean Hotel. Then, we'll make its last stop in Accra on the 8th of February at the TV3 premises. Talented kids, free to play.
Welcome back. You're still watching Weekend Central. Now, the National Chief Imam has entreated the youth in Obuasi to remain calm as investigations into circumstances that led to the shooting incident on Saturday, January 18, has started. 9 miners who illegally invaded Anglo Gold Ashanti's concession to excavate for gold were shot dead by the military officers guarding the restricted zone. Ibrahim Abubakar has been monitoring the situation. He joins us with more details on this. Ibrahim, good afternoon. Now, we know that schools were temporarily shut down in Obuasi after the shooting incident. Have these students started reporting? And what's the general atmosphere like in the area exactly 2 weeks after the incident?
Well, Judith, schools have resumed. In fact, from Monday, academic activities began
in almost all the schools within Obuasi. In fact, it's not only AGA that even shut down its schools. Other government institutions or other government or public schools also had to shut down because of security concern. But currently, you come to Obuasi, you realize that people are going about doing their economic activities, social activities, and the like. So you see some level of peace in the area. In fact, you wouldn't even realize that something is going on until you engage some of the youth. Then you also realize that there is seeming tension among them. In fact, some of them are still boiling with rage. Now, that's how come the National Chief Imam, who is even over 100 years, had to move all the way from Accra to come and engage them and also speak to families of the deceased. In fact, he's telling them not to take the law into their hands, and because government has already commenced investigation into the matter, they should wait on the report before they know the next line of action. Sheikh Armiya Oshaibu, who is the spokesperson of the National Chief Imam, has been speaking to the youth. Let's listen to what he has been telling them.
Na ye pese senia ebufo akosoro a derbebre no ebekọ fom enti chief mam obaba edisa adwuma wei na wa hye yendin wa ma yen dem fadue na abompa yeso ama yen na watie so ohaw bi a wo ho a yebotumi ati ho asem a wa na mono bi a wotumi atu ho a no nso wotumi a senia oyesa ebeboa ema se bofoshiwa wo ho a yentumi ensia no a betumi bibi esi no yetumi esi ho kwan.
Well, you heard the Sheikh Arimiya Oshaibu, who is the spokesperson of the Chief Imam. But Ibrahim, you're still with us. What is the current state of those who sustained life-threatening injuries?
Well, as we speak, one is still receiving treatment at the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital. The others have been treated and discharged. If we can recall, the government in its earlier letter directed Anglo Gold Ashanti to assist with the barrier of the 9 who died and also ensure that they bore the cost of medical bills by the injured. But according to the youth, they said they've not heard from them and they do not know whether they are flouting the directive of the government. So that's how come today even the 2024 parliamentary candidate for the NDC had to step in. He gave them 180,000 cedis to cater for the medical bills. But he has also been adding his voice to the need for the youth to remain calm and wait for the investigation findings to come out. Let's listen to what Samuel Abuaje has also been sharing with the youth.
Directly appeal to the youth and the small-scale miners to exercise patience. I understand their frustrations, I understand their pain, I understand their shift for justice. But I will entreat and hope that they should exercise patience in the leadership that we have in the constituency. We promise that we'll make sure justice is prevailed. We are all doing our best to make sure there is calm in Obuasi East and Adansi as a matter of fact.
Well, many thanks for your time. My colleague Ibrahim Abubakar has been joining us from the Ashanti region, bringing us all the details on the Obuasi incident, that update there. But let's head to the Volta region now, Godwin.
Absolutely. A total of 13 persons in the Volta region have filed to contest in the upcoming Council of State elections scheduled for February 11, 2025. With just few days away, the various aspirants are crisscrossing the region to canvass for votes. We are joined on Zoom by our regional correspondent Faisal Abdul Idrisu to get some more insights into this development. Faisal, thank you so much for your time. We do know that 13 persons have filed for the election. What more have you been able to garner?
Yes, so, Godwin, 13 persons have filed for the Council of State elections here in the Volta region. And this morning, the deputy director here at the regional level informed me that they were sending the nomination form to Accra to the headquarters, where the Electoral Commission will make a final determination on the eligibility criteria to those who will definitely for the election on February 11. The aspirants have been crisscrossing the region, engaging people they deem fit and know that they will be on the delegate list. For the voter region, there are 36 delegates, 2 from each of the districts across the region. And so on the 11th, all of these numbers will be gathering in for the election. Notable among the candidates are Toby Akamo of Anglo-Saxon, Toby Adama of Agozum, and of course, one young man who is also making waves across the country, one Gabriel Sanko, a businessman who is also making a wave across the region. And so for the 13 persons, these are the only 3 persons we know so far, but we are very much aware that the others are also campaigning, even though we do not know them by face yet. But before the election on definitely know all these persons by face and their identity, what they do, and how they connect to the region. But I have been engaging Mr. Atople, who had come to South on Thursday when I was at the office of the Electoral Commission. Let's have a listen to what he told me about the reason why he's joining this case.
So far, with the various appointments that His Excellency the President is making, about 60-70% so far are young people. That clearly states the fact that it's misplaced for people to say that the Council of State is not meant for young people, not at all. Recently, the President, I think overseas recently, said something about youth policy, that look, it is high time, young as we are part of what government policies when it comes to broking of solutions and what have you. And over the years, just like I keep saying, I have worked in so many portfolios, I have helped government policies on so many levels, right from the days of Ministry of Transport to Ministry of Food and Agriculture and Interior. I have garnered a lot of experience in that regard, and I feel representing voter region on the Council of State, I'll be able to also offer those.
Thank you very much, Faisal Abdul Idrisu, as our Volta regional correspondent.
Now, management of the Mole National Park in Damongo have issued a strong caution to poachers who invade the park to kill the animals. According to them, they will not spare any individual of the group if arrested.
2 individuals suspected of poaching in the Mole Game Reserve were arrested by rangers of the Forestry Commission. The suspects, identified as Ianji Domuo, 55 years, and Dori Kwabena, 24 years, were arrested during a routine patrol on Sunday, January 26. 4 other suspects managed to evade arrest during the operation. 4 locally manufactured single-barrel guns were also retrieved. Smoked carcasses of antelopes tied in 2 sacks were confiscated by the rangers. Assistant Law Enforcement Officer at the Mole Park, Martin Adobuga Ndigo, said the incident of poaching in the Mole Game Reserve is becoming too many.
We arrested these poachers at the Jang Range of the Mole National Park, who had gone in to do poaching activities. And as at the time we arrested them, they had 4 guns in their possession. There were 6, but 4 tried to abscond, and then we were able to get them. And then we saw that they had carcasses of antelopes with them. So we have brought them into the park to take them now to the police station for them to go to court, or the court to deal with them. But what basically we want to tell the general public is that we at Mole National Park, we work 24/7. And whoever thinks that he wants to come and play any jokes in Mole National Park should better advise themselves, because these people didn't know we were coming to see them or meet them. So that is the caution we want to sound to the general public, that anybody, poachers, loggers, anybody, if you think you have any mind of illegality, then Mole National Park shouldn't be the area where you want to play such games.
He appealed to residents living along the protected area to desist from entering the park to poach. The Mole National Park, known for its elephant heads, antelopes, and exotic bird species, is the largest and most prestigious protected area in Ghana and covers 4,577 square kilometers.
Television personality and showbiz icon Kwame Dzokoto has opened up about the trolls he faced after his defeat in the parliamentary race for Tarkwa Nsuayim. After 8 years, he has been shortlisted for the position of municipal chief executive in Tarkwa Nsuayim and is confident that he is the right candidate for the role.
It was so painful, especially when Leonards like Dr. Mwakova was saying that Dr. Kwame Dzokoto going to Parliament. Does he think that we are going to joke in Parliament? I was saying that, a doctor? Because when a doctor speaks, a teacher for that matter, he speaks with evidence, fact, and research base. So you haven't tested my intellectual capacity, and you are just talking like that. I did a Bachelor of Business Administration. I have done LLB. I am pursuing Masters in Diploma International Politics at Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College in Teshi. Yeah, there are a couple of online courses and certificates and those things. You see, I think that his ability to understand the problems and having solution to it, that is the most important thing. Yeah, we have got professors who are MPs, and if you go to their community, there's nothing. Sometimes when you go to the town and you see some of the teething problems, which is like, let's say, a pothole in a traffic light, everybody is passing. Those in control are supposed to do is passing into it. Meanwhile, they need to repair it. Right. So these things were the things I said, but me, if I was the leader of this community, I would have, take charge of it. But then we realized that you don't have the power to do it. So it came to a point, the party decided that they want to open for primaries for a representative on the card to be represent the people of Tarkwa Nsuayim. The youth came up to me, that Kwame, we know what you can do. Wow. You have the influence, you have everything, you have the connections. So they pushed me, I accepted to lead.
Now, the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II has expressed satisfaction of the progress of renovation works at the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital under his own initiative dubbed Heal Komfo Anokye Project. Now, the first phase of the $10 million project has been completed to provide conducive healing environment for persons who seek medical care at the hospital.
Realizing the poor state of treatment facilities at the second largest teaching hospital in Ghana, the Asantehene in November 2023 initiated a fundraising project to mobilize $10 million to put Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital to shape. The facility, though receives referral from 12 out of the 16 regions of Ghana, cannot provide a comfortable healing environment due to the continuous deterioration of both physical infrastructure and medical equipment. 14 months after launching the project, the first phase of the renovation works has been completed. 2 out of the 4 blocks have undergone a major facelift to provide quality health services for patients. But there is more to be done.
So we are immediately going to evacuate the patients from the makeshift ward into the facility that you have seen, so that it will give way for us to be able to do the second phase, which will comprise of A1 and then A2. We are optimistic that this time round we'll be able to work with the speed of light, because a lot of the things that we needed for the project are all here. For us to be able to raise close to $4 million in about 6 months is something that is worthy to commend. However, what is left is more. So we'll therefore use this opportunity to continuously appeal to all and sundry. For those that were skeptical about the use of the money, at least you have seen the quality of work that has been done.
The Asantehene Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II was content with the work done so far after inspecting progress of the project.
Na sika ya yesho no yebetimi dia ya dia kani nyina na Komfo Anokye da kani nyina ba ti se die na eba be huru ye no.
Some of the major donors of the project, who also appeared satisfied, have pledged to continue contributing to the initiative.
We've come to say that our money has really put to use, very good use. We've seen the quality of the work done, very impressive. And so encouraging. I think this is even motivating us to try and even contribute more, so that the work will be completed very soon.
With only 40% of the targeted amount received so far, the Asante is still entreating the public to all contribute towards fixing Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital to make it a preferred choice when it comes to healthcare services.
You're also watching Weekend Central. We'll go for a second break. We'll be back with more news to stay.
With a feeling of sadness. It began, de-associating from activities and loved ones. My colleague, she made a comment. Are you crazy? Something really clicked in me.
Then maybe you're actually crazy.
Yes.
Someone labeling you as crazy, first of all, is disrespect. And you mention 3 or 5 times a word and you become the word.
What are some of the things that when you see your colleague do, you should tell your HR that this one needs mental assessment?
Oh, so they'll hit on the table, they'll throw the documents on you for nothing, blaming you for nothing, shouting on you.
Confessions shows this Saturday at 10 p.m. only on TV3.
What is that one sacrifice you made in a relationship before?
I had to use my residential fee to help my ex pay his school fees. I used my mom's hospital bill.
The
qualities he mentioned, those moral ones, I have it. I'm smart, obedient, passionate.
My sister, you know what you are feeling is PAIN.
Hey, their own is full, mine is small.
It means you are special. So many are called, but few
are chosen. That's all.
So you don't know.
That's right.
Date Fresh Season 12 shows Sundays at 8 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by Enapa Foods, Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil, Era Air Freshness,
Duffy's Ohima Feminine Mixture, Obuasi Bitters, Nubna Womwankas.
Hello, Ghana 4. McBrown's Kitchen new season. And I'm a Debrewi. Season way. And you are near yen tanya bi wo fie no. Aha, you best see aye. When's the last time I called kitchen?
When we got kitchen. No, we room tea or kitchen. When it comes to the banku and tilapia and paposto, we wear it our home. I also in the crebe nyame adwuma. That be retained it.
This year has been good or bad?
This year
in general, be fair.
This year has been great.
Wow.
Coco.
Coco got tilapia on there.
I don't know.
McBrown's Kitchen shows this and every Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by
Hisense,
Enapa Foods,
Wemplex 400, Kivo 100% natural hot pepper,
My Life Insurance.
The wait is over. Season 2 of Top in Turn is here, and the journey to find the next big star is already heating up. We called out to fresh graduates from top schools across the nation, and they answered in droves. This week, the competition kicks off with an intense aptitude test to challenge their mental sharpness, followed by face-to-face screenings with our esteemed faculty. Who will make it to the final 12? The road to greatness begins now. Catch the thrilling first episode of Top Intern TV3.
Top Intern Season 2 premiering Sunday, 2nd February at 3 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by Tampico.
The winner of Talented Kids Season 15.
The wait is finally over. Talented Kids Season 16 is back and it is set to be the most thrilling season. Prepare to be amazed by the mesmerizing performances that will captivate audiences of all ages. We are calling on all institutions, parents, and individuals who believe in the extraordinary talent of children aged 6 to 12. Our expedition train to make its first stop in Kumasi on the 6th of February at the McLean Hotel. Then we'll make its last stop in Accra on the 8th of February at the TV3 premises. Talented kids, free to play.
Welcome back to Weekend Central here on TV3. I am Godwin Asidiba. Let's do more stories. Concerns are growing among traders at the Kantamanto market in Accra who are frustrated by the lack of aid despite the fire that gutted their wares and capital. They claim that donations received on their behalf by market leadership have yet to reach them, leaving them with a financial hurdle in their efforts to rebuild their shops.
Kantamanto Market hosts various types of traders, including second-hand clothes dealers, poultry product vendors, footwear sellers, and other businesses. More than 1,000 shops at Kantamanto were reduced to ashes by a midnight inferno on January 2nd of this year. Affected traders are struggling to revive the once vibrant commercial hub in Accra. Trading activities have resumed in the enclave, whilst the construction of shops remain incomplete. Lack of funding opportunities for some traders to expedite the completion of their makeshift shops has been a significant hurdle. For some, public donations meant to support the traders have not benefited them.
There have been a lot of donations, but the affected traders have not benefited. We are pleading with the donors that if their donations are intended for the traders, then they should hand over to the traders and not people who will not give them to us.
But the chairman of the Shoe Dealers Association insists that expenses incurred by traders in the reconstruction of their shops will be refunded. According to the leadership, 435,200 cedis in cash donations have been received by the association, while another 1 million cedi donation from President John Dramani Mahama is yet to be distributed to the members. A member of the Interim Disaster Committee at Kantamanto, Akins Boachi Mensah, provided further explanation.
President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, also gave us 1 million Ghana cedi, which is 10 billion old Ghana cedi. But as for that one, it's a purpose. He said that we should share among the members. So that one day we can't touch it.
He also clarified what the funds raised will be used for.
For now, we can't give them anything because we want to put the structure first. Apart from that, we have a lot of issues, maintenance. We have to put up our wall, find a security TT camera, everything, CT camera. So, and the ECG was here, fire service was here. So for now, they should have extra space and for us. Definitely, we will make account. Everybody will see how much we will receive it and how much we spend it. So it's not anything we are going to have anything.
Meanwhile, other groups, including the Ghana Used Clothing Dealers Association, have supported their affected members with 520 packs of roofing sheets. Jeffrey Boachi Yadom is the chairman of the association.
We are here to help them so that they can finish everything that they are doing over, so that they can start their work. Because if they stay home, so many trouble will come. So they have to work and earn their own money.
Other traders are calling for drastic interventions to safeguard their investments once business activities at the market fully resume. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Kantamanto, Accra.
Let's do some health stories now. And an estimated 1.5 billion people, predominantly in low-income regions, are impacted by neglected tropical diseases, according to the World Health Organization, WHO. Now, in recognition of World Neglected Tropical Diseases Day, the Nogochi Memorial Institute of Medical Research highlighted the urgent need for collective action to eliminate these diseases in Ghana. Safwa Buahene reports.
Neglected tropical diseases, NTDs, encompass a diverse group of infectious diseases that primarily affect marginalized populations. The World Health Organization, WHO, recognizes 21 diseases and disease groups as NTDs, including dengue fever, leprosy, schistosomiasis, lymphatic filariasis, onchocerciasis, and many others. In Ghana, 14 of these diseases are endemic, and these normally affect the poor of the poorest. During a symposium held by the Noguchi Memorial Institute of Medical Research to mark the day, experts discussed the severe implications of these diseases.
More than 1.6 billion people are affected by these neglected tropical diseases. Some of them, not even the numbers, but what it can do to human dignity. What we call elephantiasis as the common name, what it can do to even a human being. It affects the movement. You saw the legs. It deforms the human body. In Ghana, at least every district has at least 2 neglected tropical diseases.
The causes of these diseases are around there in the environment. But what we can do is to make sure that we break the link between the environment and the human to avoid the transmission of these diseases.
According to the director of the Noguchi Medical Institute, the effects of such diseases extend beyond physical health.
One person cannot sort of fight this disease because it is not just about biomedicine. It requires a lot of investment. It has also psychosocial aspect of it. Some of them, the way the disease presents, the thinking is that this is not medical. And because of that, people are not willing to seek help early. And because of also the impact of the disease on the affected, there's a lot of stigma.
The Institute urged for support to secure funding for their activities independently without relying on foreign aid.
The new government in the US is holding back funding from USAID activities. A lot of the work done by the government, by the entity program, is through funding from the USAID. And with that pause, it means much activities will not be able to go on, and would have to go back, maybe even retrogress if we are not careful. So we have to put our hands together. So what Noguchi is doing is to call on all partners, all stakeholders. We are establishing a fund.
As experts come together to raise awareness, it's clear that a united effort is essential to address these diseases. Collective action is vital for combating NTDs and fostering a healthier future for all. Safo Aboyini, TV3 News, Noguchi.
The Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Dr. John Abdullahi Jinapor, says Ghana's power sector is on the verge of collapse if strategic measures are not instituted as soon as possible. Dr. Jinapor has been meeting stakeholders of the energy sector to salvage the situation and has also constituted a committee to investigate ECG's procurement activities.
Lack of planning and procurement issues at the Electricity Company of Ghana (ECG) are among the challenges plunging the sector into significant debt.
Anybody who is honest, anybody who is candid would attest to the fact that this sector is on the verge of collapse. And if nothing is done, Ghana's energy sector, especially the power sector, will collapse.
Currently, about 3,000 containers belonging to ECG have not been cleared at the port, and this situation is incurring losses.
Cannot sit aloof to lose over 1.5 billion through such procurement issues. On the other hand, I'm reliably informed that a container that costs about $500,000, if somebody succeeds in taking it out, they go to sell it at knockdown prices, sometimes at about 100,000.
A newly constituted committee has been tasked by the Minister for Energy and Green Transition to investigate ECG's procurement, and it is expected to deliver its findings in less than a month.
You are tasked to investigate the general procurement practices of ECG, investigate the cost of these containers stuck at the port, the liabilities involved, and what government can do in order to ameliorate the situation.
Sector Minister Dr. John Abdullahi Jinapor emphasized that the inefficiencies in the power sector have overshadowed the effectiveness of the energy industry.
This brings to the fore the inefficiencies that we are talking about in the distribution sector. We cannot continue with business as usual. Something must be done, and it is my hope that this committee will do its work. This is a test case, and let me make it clear that whoever is found foul or whoever is found culpable, the law will take its course.
Meanwhile, the Electricity Company of Ghana has made over 13 billion cedis worth of procurements, and reports show that these liabilities will be extremely difficult to pay off. Ekia Ofreyiwa Dako, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama and his counterpart from Togo and Comoros are participating in the Africa Prosperity Dialogue, where business and political leaders are meeting to drive Africa's single market. Now, President Mahama is expected to make a case for Ghana's readiness to move the growth of businesses in Ghana, taking advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Well, Godwin, we've already come to the end of the bulletin.
I was actually hoping that you would get to pronounce the name of the president.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could. It's good our producer
took it out for you.
Took it out for me.
Well, it's quite an interesting...
Yeah, it's been an interesting bulletin. Nyasambe.
It's a nice name, actually.
Fori Nyasambe.
Yeah. Anyway, glad you've made some time to join us here on Weekend Central.
Exactly.
My name is Godwin Asidiba.
And I am Judith Brown. Thanks for joining us. Make time for us. Same time tomorrow in the afternoon. And also 3:60 tonight. Have a good day.
Right. Enjoy the rest of our programming. Bye.